Hey, it's Carrie from Lovely Etc. And today I want to find out which flocking powder is the best for flocking a Christmas tree. So I'm going to do a little experiment. I have flocked all kinds of trees and wreaths and garlands and all kinds of stuff for the last several years, and I love a beautiful flocked Christmas tree. So for the past 6 years, I've always used the same flocking powder for all my projects. I've been using SnoFlock and I've had great results and I love it, so I just keep using it. But I started to wonder, is it really the best or is it just one of a bunch of other great options? So that's where today's experiment comes in. I want to answer once and for all which is the best snow flocking powder. So here are the contenders. We have Flock in a Box, which is made by Sno-Bond Flock, and we have the SnoFlock, which is the one I've been using. I chose these two flocks to test because they are by far the most popular on Amazon, and they both have really great reviews. And they're both flocking powders, which are the real deal. I purposefully am not testing any flocking sprays today because after doing some research, all of the flocking sprays are more like just your basic spray snow, and they're good for adding some snow around your windows, but they do not give you that realistic textured flocking that you want on your Christmas tree. So I'm not going to waste our time and even deal with those. So I have my two flocking powders ready. They each arrived in a box with a sealed bag inside of the flocking powder, and I have a 5-pound box of each. I will say the SnoFlock comes in a resealable bag, which is really nice. Other than that, pretty equal. So here we have SnoFlock, which I've obviously already used quite a bit of. And here we have the Sno-Bond Flock in a Box. And to go with my two flocking powders, I have two mini Christmas trees that I'm going to be flocking. Here are the two flocks. This is SnoFlock, this is Sno-Bond Flock in a Box. They really look very similar on first sight. The SnoFlock maybe has a very faint bit of a bluer undertone, but overall very similar. So I'm flocking my first tree with the SnoFlock powder. If you're looking for more details about how to flock your own Christmas tree, I've got a whole video about that too, so be sure to check that out. Here's my finished SnoFlock tree. I love that texture up close. Now I'm going to flock my second identical tree using the Sno-Bond flocking powder. And here's the finished Flock in a Box tree with a close-up view so you can really see the detail. Okay, so here I am in my little forest, ready to share the results of my flocking test. This is my SnoFlock tree, and this is my Sno-Bond Flock in a Box tree. Looking at both of the trees, they actually both look pretty good. They both have flocking adhered pretty much to the entire tree, and they both look up close really realistic and basically just like the beautiful trees that you can buy. They have fluffy texture, a little bit of shimmer from the little iridescent flakes, some green peeking through just like a real tree. They look great. I will say that the SnoFlock tree, the flock seems to have adhered a little more thickly. Of course, I'm not perfect, but I tried as hard as I could to flock them both the same amount, and to do that I tried to basically just flock them both as heavily as possible and add as much as possible. And it seems like on the SnoFlock tree a little bit more adhered than on the Sno-Bond tree, but it's such a minuscule difference. They both look beautiful. So as far as looks go, it's pretty even. So let's talk cost. SnoFlock and Sno-Bond can both be purchased in a 5-pound box for about the same amount. They're both around $40 for a 5-pound box, but it's give or take. Some days it may be $39, some days it may be $41. It just depends. But the price is pretty comparable. You can also buy both of them in a 2-pound box, and you can buy the Sno-Bond in a 25-pound box if you are going to be just flocking all the things, like tons of stuff. And it's a phenomenal deal for that box. So price-wise, they're pretty similar too. I will say though that after having used SnoFlock for bunches of projects over the past several years, that it tends to sell out fairly regularly, especially the closer we get to Christmas. And as I was just looking just now, it's actually sold out right now in the 5-pound size. You can buy the 2-pound size, but if you're gonna flock a full like 7.5, 8-foot Christmas tree, 7-foot Christmas tree, 2 pounds is probably gonna be not quite. You're not gonna need a full 5-pound box unless you're flocking your tree really heavily, but you are gonna probably use most of it and definitely more than 2 pounds. So that is one difficulty. I'm sure the SnoFlock is gonna be coming back in stock, but Knowing that they're both fairly similar makes it a lot easier. If the one you were after is out of stock, it's okay to buy the other one. You're still going to have great results. So which one is the best? Well, I mean, honestly, they both are pretty good. They're both miles and miles above any kind of spray snow flocking situation that you might buy. I saw on Amazon that they were recommending for flocking this flocking spray. Don't do it. It is not good. It is not going to make your tree look snowy and have this beautiful texture. It's just not. Both of these are miles above that. They're actually just both really good choices, and I know that's kind of anticlimactic for a test of which one is the best, but that's the truth. And I think that it's still worthwhile to do this test because even though I found that they're both pretty similar, that answers a lot of questions that I've had in the past when I have found I wanted to buy a SnoFlock and it was out of stock and I thought, I don't know, is it going to be the same? Well, now I know, yeah, it is. It's fine. So I would recommend both of these options. If I had to pick one that I liked better, I would still say I like the SnoFlock tiny little bit better, but I feel very comfortable recommending either of them and using either of them in the future. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, Lovely Etc., where I share lots of inexpensive DIY projects for creating a home that you absolutely love. And especially over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing lots of Christmas DIYs to add a little merry to your holiday this season, so be sure to stick around for that.